Hello, welcome to today's build, the prison on our map, Frozenshire. Thanks for joining me. Of course, I'm your builder, New Build City, NBC for short. I built a few prisons in my day, and in this map, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and build a prison in this nice spot here. So let's go ahead and get started with the training. Just a little bit of history of this area. I used to be kind of our industry area. We actually at one time had all four industry DLC pieces in here because this was like our first/second tile of the city. But the city has expanded since then, and we cleared out a nice big area. And like I said, I want to put a nice big beautiful prison kind of tucked away into the hills here. So we're just going to go ahead and raise the land up because I think what I would like to do is have this as like kind of a pretty significant feature in the city. So I want it to be up on almost like this pedestal here. And now I decided, yep, that's about where it's going to go. And that's the height I want. What we're going to do is create some moats. And if you're not familiar with this technique, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. What we're going to do is dig some moats around this road here. The road is just going to serve as like our guide, our border. And we're building this pentagonal shaped prison. And we're going to add these water inlets from the natural disasters DLC. You could, if you don't have that, use the sewer outlet. Really, any one of those assets that kind of release water. Just keep in mind if it's got like high concentration of, we'll say, dark matter in it, you could poison your citizens. So, like I said, just keep that in mind. Using the freshwater outlet, obviously it's fresh water, and what we're doing is basically creating a moat around the prison. So it's filled in, and we're going to go ahead and create the other underside of the wall. So we're going to create an inside moat as well. And what this is going to allow us to do is create a prison wall on both sides. It's going to look really awesome. What we're going to end up doing is installing the keys on both sides of this roadway, and then we're going to put a path on top, kind of like almost like a catwalk, like a guard patrol area. That guards can kind of walk the wall, and then we'll add some fencing and stuff like that too, so to make it stand out, bringing that high security feel from the oil industry fencing. So we go ahead and just move our freshwater outlets around. So here I'm kind of going like 1 unit off the roadway, and I'm trying to figure out like how close can we get to that corner edge before it won't let us draw the key. And it looks like about like kind of like almost like 1 tick away. That's too close. It doesn't like that turn. So what I decide here, like I said, is go back one, and then go ahead and draw the curve, and we actually get perfect. And what I'm really just being mindful of is the height of the actual key itself, and that just takes like some kind of playing around with it, a little bit of experience that I don't have in trying to figure out how far the land should go out from the road into the water itself. Sometimes corners, especially outside corners, are trickier. Sometimes it works from one direction and not the other. So if you have trouble making it from one way, try the other way, and a lot of times it'll work. Now the inside's almost done. It's easy probably just to run like the straight pieces. That's what I'm doing here. And then run the corner pieces, curved pieces. I said sometimes it works. And that one wants to play a joke on me and put the key on the other side. It must see the water on the other side of the road and go, oh, I'm going to put it there instead. So I drew it backwards. Those are always entertaining. And I'm saving it. It's always a good idea to kind of, when you're doing these projects, just to throw a save in here and there. Just because, especially on console, at least for me on the PlayStation, it loves to do the double tap bulldozer. So it's just, like I said, when you're messing with these walls and stuff, sometimes it's just a lot easier to create that save. You hit the double tap where you blow half your roads and you blow part of the key up, and you're just like, oh man, I just spent 10 minutes dialing with it just to blow it up. Let's go back to the save. So now we just gotta like move the water around just a little bit for this outside wall. So I'm gonna push it out, and then I'm gonna push out the land. Once again, I'm just trying to be mindful of how level it is. And at this point, I just want to see, to test the width of the key is correct, I'm going to put in a Park Life DLC path. Those cause the ground to raise up just like a road would. And I'm just checking in here to see, did it actually pull up the land around the key or not? And the answer is no, we're good. Sometimes if the keys are too close back to back, then what happens is, when you go to like kind of peel the land away from the wall to kind of get that nice clean look, you can't, because the path or roadway or whatever you put next to it has pulled the land up. So then you end up with like this land in front of the key, which I mean is not necessarily the end of the world, but so I know for a fact I want to put a path up here, as well as put like some fencing and stuff. So I'm gonna need like a little bit of that room anyway. And I'm just trying to kind of make sure it's going to work. Look how I want it to look. Like I said, just moving the land around, getting rid of this like weird, like almost like sawtooth edge that we have here. I wish sometimes the circle wasn't a circle, wish it was a square. And sometimes I wish the circle had one more level down. So one more level smaller and one more level bigger. And we're on the outside radius, so it should be a little bit straighter for a little bit longer than it is on the inside, right? Take it like almost like two little ticks past. That's what I'm counting out. Get to that node, and two more little pushes. That node, 2 pushes, and that way it's about right. And I think we just have this last corner to do. And we're done with the wall. Which is probably the hardest part, really. Getting the key to do to work for you. Save it again, because we're going to bring the bulldozer tool out. We're trying to blow up this road, and, you know, might slip. It might decide, the PlayStation might decide to blow up more than just the road. Who knows? And then here we got to kind of figure out, alright, how are we going to go ahead and bring our entrance in. We're going to use the toll booth as like our security gate. And now we're just waiting for our moat to drain. And then we can do a little bit of terraining. Level out the ground in here. Well, let's go ahead and run the path along the wall. And I think I like to use the, this is the amusement park path with the stone. It's got like a nice brick. I think that would work really well in the prison. And what I'm doing here is just redrawing it from one way to the other, because depending on how you draw the path determines what side the lights are on. And I just wanted it to be uniform. It's just one of those little things. And just want to try a couple different paths just to kind of see the look. And like I said, I think we'll stick with the amusement park for the break. So level everything down. Remove some of that dirt and let the wall stand out. Looks good. Looks really good. And we'll blend it all back into the surrounding terrain. Our prison wall is looking really nice. Now we need an entrance in here. So I'm trying to figure out how to center this decently enough. We have a cemetery in the way. We're gonna have to empty that cemetery to move it. I think go ahead and get the toll booth in to kind of be our guardhouse. And what I'm gonna do as well is this. I like to take some of the slope out of it by having the kind of the toll booth itself take some of that slope. So do that as well. So we'll kind of come to a final height here in a second. That's pretty good. Good enough. So make sure we can run some fencing in here. And we can. That's good. Trying to blow up the key. Alright, now we got a little entrance into the prison. Let's go ahead and fill some of this in with some nice cool assets. What I like to use is the trade school dormitories as our cell blocks. Done it in another prison build before. That looked pretty well. They blend really well with the prison asset because they have that kind of like square and those tan tones and white tones. So a lot of the trade school campus stuff looks good in here. Well, our prison is complete. I cut out a bunch of stuff that kind of showed me placing and fiddling with different assets to kind of get the look that I wanted. But let's go over what's in this prison area. Of course, we have our cemetery. There's some zoned office. There's recycle centers. There's the police helicopter depot. We have some water assets, some storage and barracks and maintenance from our oil industry. We've got a warehouse yard, a geothermal plant and geothermal heating station in here. Like I said, we got a couple of the assets from our trade school, the dormitories, looks like maybe the library and the cafe. No, that might be the gymnasium. We have a couple office buildings next to it, next to our prison from the Japanese Creator Pack. We got some statues and fountains. Looks like we have also in here taxi depot and road maintenance building. Just buildings that kind of have that color, that squarish look that just makes the prison feel like it's all tied together as one big complex. Got some fencing on, of course, the front, the pathing on top as well as on the inside with the fire watch towers kind of overlooking beyond the wall, blended in the terrain, brought down the mountain that's in the background as well as blended it into the hills here. You know, added the trees and all that stuff just to, like I said, make it look nice. We got like a switchback road, so the road kind of goes back and forth and to get up to that elevation. So it's looking really nice. And I hope this gives you an example and maybe provides some inspiration on how you can use the prison asset in your city and build something that really stands out. And of course, if you like what you see, consider subscribing, leaving a like. Of course, that always helps out the channel, as well as love to have you as part of the NBC family. And if you'd like to interact with me, stop by on Twitch, the link's down below in the description, and say hi and let me know what kind of prison builds that you've created in your cities. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, happy building.